This day, while I was hunting in the mountains, I suddenly noticed the surroundings were eerily quiet, but before I could even react, seeing no movement around me, I quickly took off my bright red jacket and hid behind a large tree. Just when I thought I had escaped danger, another sharp arrow suddenly struck my shoulder. Realizing they were trying to kill me, I quickly snapped the arrow off my body. Following the principle of getting away from disaster, I started fleeing in the opposite direction. Finally made it back to my car safely. However, just as I was about to drive away from this mess, I discovered my car wouldn't start no matter what. No choice, I had to escape on foot, but just as I made it through some woods, I suddenly spotted a pickup truck ahead. Realizing this truck could very well belong to the mysterious person hunting me, I quickly pulled out my car keys, made a simple mark on the paint job so I could identify it later. Then I rushed back to my cabin in the woods. Without hesitation, I pulled out the arrow from my body and expertly began disinfecting the wound. Finally gritted my teeth and stitched up the wound with needle and thread. The reason I'm so professional at treating wounds is because I've been living alone in this forest for 5 years now. 5 years ago, my daughter disappeared in these woods. For this reason, I've installed countless surveillance devices in the forest, hoping to find clues about my missing daughter. But just as I finished treating my wound and checked the monitors, I suddenly discovered a mysterious person in a ghillie suit chasing a little girl who was running for her life through the forest. I figured the mysterious person must be connected to my daughter's disappearance, so I quickly gathered my gear and headed back into the forest, wanting to save that girl in trouble. However, I underestimated the mysterious person's skills. I had just walked into the deep forest, just accidentally stepped on a branch on the ground, and the mysterious person spotted me. Fortunately, I reacted quickly, so I didn't get hurt by the blade. After confirming the mysterious person's attack direction, I quickly threw a can of red paint into the air, then shot it with one bullet. When the mysterious person saw they got splattered with red paint, they didn't want to keep fighting and quickly chose to flee. At this point, I wanted to pursue while I had the advantage, but the distance was too far. One bullet missed the target. Just as disappointed me came to a riverside to wash my face, I suddenly noticed something white on the shore. It wasn't until I walked closer that I realized it was the little girl from the surveillance footage who was being chased, and her vocal cords had been removed by the mysterious person. After seeing the little girl was still breathing, I picked her up, planning to take her home for treatment. Soon it was nighttime. Since my car was still far away from us, worried the mysterious person might launch a sneak attack under cover of darkness, I had no choice but to bring the girl to one of my homemade traps, planning to hide in this trap for the night. But just as I turned around, the little girl behind me mysteriously disappeared. While I was searching everywhere for the girl, she suddenly launched an attack on me. Turns out, the girl mistook me for the bad guy chasing her. Fortunately, after some careful explanation, the girl finally relaxed and followed me into this deep pit trap. Early the next morning, I continued the journey with the girl, but because of the long distance, we didn't make it back to my cabin until nighttime. We thought we'd be safe once we got home, but unexpectedly, before we could even catch our breath, the dog outside started barking like crazy.